Hello guys. As always, thank you very much for coffee. Good one. It's early morning here in Poland. Good time to discuss how to install and test a new beta. All right, so let's go first to installation. As said, I will not cover this, but this is beta, so I think it will be worth it to cover this. So once you download zip file, it's called, as you can see, FM2M ToolBox 085 beta and BMW, because this version is only for BMW. So you just double click and there will be folder over there when you unzip. And as you can see inside, there are two folders. Basically what's inside mimics the root folder of SD card. So let me connect my radio, which is Zoro. You can see RM, and we are waiting for the SD card. Anyway, this is the FM2M folder is basically application folder where all application files exist. You can see here there is a PC, of course, nothing here. Still in Toolbox you can see different folders and all executables for application. And in scripts folder, on the other hand, there are something which I call launchers. So there are two ways to launch the Toolbox. One is this one time, which needs you to go to Tools tab, and here is a file for that. And there is this background mode when Toolbox runs constantly, and here is this telemetry file, that just a launch application which is in this folder. So already connected, and let's go to Zoro. As you can see, this is standard, maybe not so standard, this is with some my dev tweaking, but the folder we are interested in are scripts, of course. So there are scripts, and if we open, you can see now that I've got few launchers like ELRS and previous version of Fly Me to the Moon. And if you go to FM2M folder, this is the same, just Toolbox when the all executables resides. Let me show it here. So you can see now logs, configs, common, different folders, but still, and color, because this version, the normal version, is for both. VC folder, where there is your key, and that's it. While in the telemetry, here is the alt launcher. It's called FM2M TB, and there is a file launcher for one time. So what do you do? That's very easy. You just first of all, you just copy all the folder FM2M beta_beta to a root folder. Let's go do that. It will be quite slow, but still it's going. I can do things in parallel, so I can go now. It's copying now, this folder. Unfortunately, it's quite slow, like 3 minutes. So we go to script, then on our SD card, and we go to scripts on our zip file, unzipped folder file, and we copy to equivalent folders files. So in telemetry, the beta launcher for telemetry is called TB085B. Let's copy over there. And in tools folder, you will see FM2M ToolBox 085_B, which stands for beta. And we go over there to tools and we copy that over here. Okay, it's almost finishing. Let's go again to a main folder. It's finishing. All right. There was a sound that it's finished. So now we have two folders for Fly Me to the Moon. One is this normal version, one is beta. Let's check if everything is okay. Okay. There is no VC. I will show you in a minute what to do. And scripts, telemetry. There is TB05 for background, and there is toolbox 085 score. Yeah, everything okay. So last things you need to do is to go to your, let me close it, FM2M folder to VC and copy this key file. Then we go to beta, we go to, let me close it, we go to VC in beta folder and paste it. And that's basically it. And we are done. So we can disconnect. Okay, and let's switch to radio. All right. So let's start with the, let's check if everything is okay. And as you can see, this is the normal version in a toolbox, but beta is reporting as toolbox 0.85B, right? How to set the background mode. All right, so we need to go to model configuration, and the last page is display. You should have here none, or maybe you have something set, like, you know, some values. I strongly recommend to disable it. Go to scripts, and now you will have just a minute. Yes, once again. So the first one is for the normal version. This TB085B is for beta version. Okay, so let's go over there, and it's set. And just to remind you, on those radios, like Radio Master radios, you need to long press telemetry, and if you want to exit being in background mode, you just press long press return. On the other hand, if we go to tools, one-time mode, let's execute it. You just need short press to go back to system. All right, so this is it, and let's do configuration. So let's go to a model. I've got a few models here. Currently LRS Whoop is selected. So let me check if manual focus. What is there a manual focus set for my camera? Yes, it is, but it's still floating a little bit. Okay, never mind. So what I would like you to show is, of course, that first thing, that model should be properly configured. So you know that, but I will go to the telemetry and there are sensors, right? If you don't have this sensor discovered, it will just not work. To discover, you just power on your aircraft, and while air sealing is ready, and you have this telemetry switch on in the firmware, in flight firmware, whatever you have, like Beta Flight or iNav, you just press Discover New and you will have those sensors here. Okay, so let's go to a new version. And so, as always, you need to, as I wrote, you need to config from scratch. There are a lot of changes, and I couldn't make, any kind of transition file or to use the auto config. So you need to configure from scratch. This is obvious. For beta, there is one more settings. If I set it like memory usage current, you will see current in kilobytes memory usage. You can set it also to max, because different models use different peaks in memory usage. So I may ask you to switch this on to check if there is no problem with the memory, which we are fighting all the time. All right, so here's the thing. On Radio Master radios, if you are in background mode, the page is not working. So what I did, I exchanged page for system. So if you are using the toolbox in the background mode, just use system to switch between pages. Okay. So this is again. Let me go to first page. All right. So we have discovered, and the second one is of course protocol. So this time a slight change. Now you can see this is company name rather than the protocol. So if I go over there, TBS, FrSky, TBS, ELRS, and Immersion RC. Once you select the protocol, the protocol like company, you need to set the version. Of course, there will be only Crossfire in case of TBS, but if we go to ELRS, you've got two versions of firmware, 2.0 branch and 3.0 branch. It's default to oops, why it's not working? Sorry, let me check. All right, so I can see now a bug because I cannot switch back to 3.0. I don't know why, but so first bug is found. All right. Anyway, you need to set protocol. As you can see over there, EL came. If I switch to TBS, it will be Crossfire. If I switch to FrSky, it will be, D16 or D8, etc. So you see on the dashboard which protocol is configured. Okay. Once again, okay. As you can see, if I change to ELRS, it defaults to 3.0 branch, but I cannot change back from 2.0. So I need to make a note about that. All right, so protocol is set, right? So we should be able now to connect quad and go to dashboard, because this is a new dashboard. and we should be able to connect our small quad aircraft. Let me check battery. Check battery. All right. And here it is. And we, I think, are good to go. Yeah, it's working. Let's check if it goes to turtle mode. Yes, it goes, but turtle mode is not configured, so you will not see. I will just put, yeah, it's in the turtle mode. But the indicator was not configured. We will configure in a minute. So basically not much changed. Maybe, well, a lot of change, but visually it's all good dashboard. So let's go to next config option. Config remembers where we left. So this is page 2, and next one. This is for sure familiar. I will just set it to all alerts, and maybe here is a change. You can set to the alerts type to sound, just a visual, so no sound, only haptic, and all of them. So I will set it to all, and I think I will lower here critical, because this is whoop, so we can go lower, like 3.4, and critical will be 3.2. All right. So that's it. Next one is, let's go here. FC firmware, beta flight. You cannot change this. This is just to code it, for next versions, when there will be for things for INAV or keys or things like that. But here is important thing, MSP, which, as you know, is protocol that talks to our flight controller. And we will switch it on. And there are two options, FC stat reading and VTX stat reading. This basically is period. This is how frequently the toolbox is asking FC inbound data about FC errors and VTX stat. So you can change this. If you set it to 0, it means it's disabled. If it goes FC stat, it goes to 5 seconds. This is default, I think. It's okay. While VTX goes from 0 to, I think, 10 seconds. So if I set it here to 10 seconds, VTX status will be read every 10 seconds. So my default on ELRS is around 4 seconds for VTX, which is enough, and 3 seconds for reading, maybe 2 seconds if you want. If you send it to 1 second and 1 second, it will be constantly polling, so a lot of data transmission goes on, so I do not recommend to do it. Okay, so and that's it. Some features need to reload toolbox. So there's one nice feature. If you press menu here, we have a quick menu, and I call it reload toolbox. So here is reload toolbox, and basically it reloads application. This is very important in background mode, because if something went wrong, you need to restart radio to reset, so reload this telemetry script. or to go to this, telemetry screen and set it again. Now you just press reload and it reloads, right? And that's good. All right, so let's go to dashboard because we switched on MSP, and pay attention to this telemetry indicator. There will be small dot over here. That means MSP is communicating. Okay, let's go to dashboard. And I hope there will be. If there is, let's go to next page. I recall you, there is no page in background mode, so you need to use sys button. There is no page over there. Okay. Return. Okay. So the next option is VTX host. And this depends on protocol you send and you set. So for example, for immersion RC GORS, there is no way to read VTX this is stored in the transmitter module. So there will be only option for factory VTX reading. When you have when the ELRS is set, you have this option only, on the other hand, to read VTX data via FC MSP. What it means? It means exactly that we read VTX tables from Betaflight. So let me set this on, and proxy, I will cover this in a minute. And proxy is something that speeds up reading, table reading. All right, let's go to the next one. This is new feature, VTX favorites. And well, this is self-explanatory. You just set the channel over here you like. Let's go to, let's say R1, right? And you've got 8 slots for that, right? So let's set the R1 here, and maybe, oh, this is the LRS, so we can go like outside of legal band and set, okay, I want to have L1. Not to interfere with anyone, not being so legal, of course. And all right, the next one, huge feature, is dashboard panels. So it's called dashboard pages. If we go to dashboard again, okay, you can see that you can switch pages. This is first page, this is second page, or you can see now we just set favorites. You will be able to set once the MSP is working. I have to check. Maybe I will reset my quad. Yes, now the dot is blinking. So it's reading, first of all, it's reading. Now you can see we are reading now tables, we are reading powers, and as the last one, we will read the channel. Bam, it's red, so MSP working. And every now and then you will see this dot coming. So just basically, oh, what's going on with sorry. Okay, I need to refocus once again. This camera is not very well. I need to change my overhead camera. Okay, you will see this dot blinking, which means there is a communication with FC. And one more thing regarding this, let's go to yeah. Now you can see we have errors. I will come to this. Okay, these aren't. Thing is that you will see this dot, but if I arm my aircraft, MSP is off. This is for safety reason and for speed reasons. But once you arm, once you're flying, MSP is not working. So basically, when we go to the next page, when there is a VTX, you can see that VTX is on, and we transmit on 25 milliwatts and on channel R6. But now we are not updating this information. If I disarm, you can see this dot blinking again, and now we are updating information. So for example, if I go into a pit mode, I've got a switch for that, into a pit mode, it will update once the VTX is read. Okay, let's go off from the VTX, from the pit mode, and it will read every 5 seconds. You can speed it up in configuration, and it will show the current value. Okay, let's go back to pages. So next page, telemetry. You are familiar with that. So as you can see, we have no GPS sensors, so only basic sensors, no GPS over there. But still, if you go to a last page, predefined page, there is a heading because we have this yaw. So if I move my quad, it will be updated. Just remember 0 north, it's the position the aircraft was powered on. So this is not, geographical heading. This is just relative to quad position, right? All right. So this is that. So how those pages work? I predefined some pages like this one. It's called GPS, or the first one, which is the default for the default page for. You can see. Now MSP is working. Raising my throttle, and it says, sorry, Robert, throttle level is too high, and it's blinking. When I lower, it will go off from this error. And of course, this is what we talked about. The speed of reading of those errors is set in configuration as FC stat read option. And so going back to pages, those pages are configurable. I thought, guys, okay, you are asking, I would like this, I would like that, I want 2 timers, I don't want date, things, so I made it configurable. So these are defaults. I will switch to the next one. This is default for VTX. You can see in here favorites and the VTX status, but here is also the kind of place for confirmation when we set things, channels or power, and this is default for telemetry, and this is default for GPS. However, if we go to a config, okay, to dashboard pages, you can see a lot of options. So first of all, it's rather, nifty, but maybe you want, if you want butt panel on the right side, now we have battery panel on the right side and RC link on the left side, okay? So this is just cosmetic. Okay, but next is that, as you can see, the first page is so-called multi-panel. And there are 5 panels: top left, top right, mid left, mid right, and bottom right. So if I change here for example, GPS position, and I will go to dashboard, I will have latitude and longitude over there, okay? Okay, maybe you want something like, you don't want date, I just want my timer 1 and timer 2 because it matters for you. So if I config this, you will just have 2 timers, right? And this is this page is called multi-panel, and so you are able to configure those 5 panels on the dashboard. But there are also predefined, for example, there are 5 pages available, and I will go. So first, it will be multi-panel. So you will be you are able to, you know, to set different like arm and flight mode, date and time, timer, 3 VTX data, VTX save. This is this info about setting new channel. This is air mode and crash flip indicator, and GPS satellites and GPS ground course and GPS speed, altitude, things like that. You can set it or you can switch it off, right? So this is basically multi-panel, and there are some predefined pages like VTX favorites, you've seen that, telemetry, and GPS. So basically this is it. Okay, let's say configure some funny like I want to have my arm, of course, arm and flight mode. Yeah, that's important. But then I want VTX data, and then I want, let's say, GPS satellites, and maybe what else can we have? Arm and configuration and throttle. All right, so this is my configuration. Let's go to dashboard, and this is first page, second page predefined, third page, this is fourth page predefined, and this is our 5th page. As you can see, you've got it customizable. So I think you should be happy with that. All right, so let's go to config again, and let's go to the last page. So there's few changes also, and so now arm indicator is set to telemetry, but you can switch this to be set from switch. This is particularly useful for, let's say, ghost, because ghosts do not send any information about arming or flight mode, so we usually set to switch. But there is also the other option, logic switch, and because for example, I have my arm. I have special procedure for arm. So let me show you. Let's go off from the application. Let's go, to model and page. All right. So as you can see, quite complicated logic. Maybe I will cover this with a future video because it works very well. But for me, arming, of course, on ELRS, we have this information from telemetry sensor, but you can set it also via switch. As you can see, just a minute, L1 is disarmed. Now if I disarm, L4 will be on when I'm arming, but also, if you can see, I have crash flip just on the one button, and L7 is for crash flip, right? Also air mode on logic switch, things are like that. So let's go back to our application and configuration. Let's go to last page. Okay, so maybe I will show you on the other, let's leave it on telemetry, because with ELRS we can read this from telemetry, but air mode is my logic switch 15. Or maybe just a minute, I will make it as a switch, all right? So you will see it better. Switch name, let's make it where it's here. It says that it was down. And now if I go to dashboard, and I switch the switch, air mode is on, okay? So now you have an air mode indicator, and let's go to a config, and let's go to next option, which is crash flip. So now I will config as I have mine. I will set it to logic switch, and air mode is my logic switch 15, but I will also set crash flip as logic switch 7, because this is my logic switch, or logical switch, logical switch for crash flip. And all right, that's it, I think. All right, so let's check if it works. So armed, all right, armed, and I've got special procedure. I don't know if I can show you. My air mode is automatically on when I'm flying, so maybe I will try to present this, but I need to keep my small quad lower. Sorry, switch should be up. Okay, so yeah, now you can see air mode is on. If I switch it again, so when I'm switching when I arm my quad, air mode is not on. Just when I raise the throttle above certain level, air mode will be automatically on. That's why there is a logic switch. And yeah, now you can see air mode, right? All right, let me disarm. Cool, let's check if turtle mode works. Yeah, indicator works. It's armed, it's turtle, right? So timer is not working, and that's very simple, because this is in config, is the last option. If we go to very bottom, arm timer is off, which means you can see timers from the system. If you set something in the system, like some logic in the timer, for timer in HTX, you will see, of course, the time. But if you want ToolBox to count your arm time, you need to switch the arm time to on, and let's say it will be timer 2. Okay, now if I go to dashboard, once I arm, my arm timer starts to work. So, and there is a name change in the name, so it's not called anymore timer, it's called arm. but there is a number that we use second timer. All right, so let's go to config. Let's go to a config once again. And what else? There is throttle limiter, but this is future option, so do not bother. This is for plain guys. Throttle cut. There will be indicator for throttle cut, and it's already in color version, in black and white, not yet. But there will be indicator to show you that throttle cut is on. But of course, throttle limiter, it was always here, so let's switch it on, and I have my throttle limiter on trim third, on my trim here. Okay, so now if I go back to dashboard, I think my battery is dying. Let me... There should be a sound. Yes, of course there's a sound. I need to replace battery. Oh, that's when the toolbox is really purposeful, because I'm talking and my battery would die. And I'm preventing this. And guys, I will show you now, this is the opportunity to show you the other function, and I mean reset flight data. So unless, of course, what you're seeing now, let's go to VTX, let's go to telemetry. They are not highlighted, which means because telemetry is off, but you still see the last value. This, of course, regards also GPS. So even you lost your aircraft, you will see the last position from telemetry. And if you want to reset this, you need to go to quick menu and say, okay, reset data. So now you can see everything is reset. And okay, so let's go to config, dashboard config, and the last option was timer, and yeah, of course my throttle limiter. That's what I wanted to show you. So let's go to first page, because first page I think is, yes, there is a throttle limiter, and now you can see I've got visual confirmation how much I choke my throttle. All right, so basically this is it. I think the last option I would like to present is, let me switch the battery on the left. That was initial. Okay, battery panel on the left side. All right, and dashboard. And what I would like to show you, one more thing, is this VTX module. Okay, because we have everything configured. So if you go to the VTX module, and there is ELRS set, which reads, or MSP rather set. That means MSP is on and VTX host is FCMSP. That means we are going to read VTX tables from Betaflight. That simply means that here no telemetry and tables are not read. So let's go and check this reading tables. You see this dot over here, so MSP is working, loading, and it's loading our tables. Yep, it's over there. There is a small T here. That means we read the table. If you go to a quick menu in this module, you will see this additional option, read VTX tables. So if I press this, this will basically read the tables. So if you change anything, in Betaflight, like tables or power levels, then you need to reread it. Actually, you don't have if you have your proxy. Set to off. So let's discuss a little bit what is proxy. Let's go to dashboard. And let's config our first page to see VTX, okay? Or maybe let's leave it and go to second page on dashboard, okay. And I will switch off the client, power down my aircraft, small aircraft. I will reload toolbox, right? And again, so if I power on, it's reading VTX, it's reading all the data about current power, current channel, but also all the tables. You can see ID 3 because we need to read power table to see that the third item is 25 milliwatts label. All right, so the thing is that if you power down it and you power up again, this will read again all the data. So it needs to read VTX, of course, current settings, but also tables. So what I've implemented is proxy. This is kind of file and on the SD card. So let's go to to config. Let's go to VTX and set proxy to on. Okay. Set proxy to on. Right. Dashboard. All right. And next page. All right. And look what happens. I will power down my quad. Reset flight data. Okay, let's power up. Now proxy is on. So, as you can see, it's very quick because there is a proxy file on the SD card that remembers all the tables and things like that. Maybe it's better visible in VTX. Okay, so here it is, right? So once again, let's reset flight data, and it's reading. Bam, all tables are there because there is a proxy file. So if you change anything in Betaflight, you need to read again those VTX tables because now it's not read directly from the FC, but rather than that, it's read from proxy file. So if I press read VTX tables, it will read all the tables from Betaflight, then write it to the proxy, and every next time you will have your table information very quick. All right, that's it. So what else I can show you? I can show you that the switching, channel switching is working. So let me change to my mixer, FPV mixer. Why it's not working, I don't know. I think I have 4 channels, and one of them is R1. Let's go to R1 because I've set R1 for sure. Okay. You need to press short. Yep. We have it. Bam. It's set. Let's go. I think I've set to second R. Nope. Let's go to R3. Yeah. Next one is R3. And I think the next one will be R5. But let's check. Yes, this is R5. And so you can set whichever channel you want here. But of course, there's a FAV dashboard. Let's say that go to dashboard. Why there's this favorites? This is mainly for racing, but you can use it, of course, because usually we have some channels that are, favorites, and we usually fly on those channels. So if I go to, if I set my favorites, let me configure once again some more channels. Okay, so let's go to FAVs and let's go. I've got on my mixer R3. And R5, okay. All right. So now if I go to dashboard and my my FAVs, I've got them here. So let's go back to, you see in this confirmation setting VTX, that means that the packet, the command was sent and we are waiting for response. It's very quick, so it just blinks. But if not, it will be blinking until the FC confirms. And you can see on the screen, we are just switching channels very, very quickly, which is very important on the race day. And the other important thing is that you will not switch to the other channel than the race channels, right? So you can configure like 4 or 6 channels, race day channels, and you will be switching only between them. All right, guys, so that's it. I should cover GPS like last thing. The last page here is GPS indicators, but of course this is this tiny whoop, so no GPS. So I need to set up. I need to set my CRSF quad on the bench, and I will do it in a minute. All right, guys, setup prepared. I've got my X9D with the CRSF module installed, as you can see. So I can show you now with CRSF. Let's go to CRSF model. Of course, you need to configure in the same way. I mean, on the last screen, you can see the screen 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to set to TB085B as a script, background script, and then you'll be able to run in background. In these radios, to go into this application like ToolBox, you need to long press page. Okay, so now we are in a I think is configured. One thing people are asking, hey, what is throttle limiter for? Well, it's very good for bench, because if you set it here like 15%, you can quite safely, even with props on, power the quad, because it will have very low. It will be choked to 15%, so it will not fly away. All right. What's more? Maybe long exit to. Maybe I will show you the telemetry screen, which is the last one. So you have all the things here, and since this is quad, this quad has, I think I have to show it to camera. Is it? There is GPS. So so you can there are just a minute, like over there, okay, and so there are sensors in telemetry regarding GPS. Okay, so let's go to main screen and to our app. Okay, so let's power it up. So, thing is that the configuration of toolbox depends on configuration of your quad. For example, here I have it configured to read to steer VTX, TBS VTX from FC via smart audio. So still you have you should be able to read tables. Let me check it. VTX. Yeah. It's already in proxy, so I can see it here. And we have VTX settings pulled from the FC. And okay, everything works. I think the turtle mode, yeah, different. Let me check if camera is working. Yeah, it's working, of course. And that's it. All right, so we have now, if we go, and on those radio, page works. This is, you know, the let's say this is a bug in HTX that was done in Radio Master, that was fixed in Radio Master. So page is for switching those, you know, telemetry screens in system. So it shouldn't work, but somehow on FRSky radios it works. So you can use page over there to switch between pages. You can see telemetry is working, but of course GPS is not. You've got this flight mode. It's wait. Wait means that there is no GPS fix in Crossfire. In Crossfire telemetry, and this wait status means that the GPS has no fix. But frankly speaking, it's quite a mess with this GPS fixing in TBS, in Betaflight. They will transmit data as they want. So what I did, I've hard coded that when you see next page with the GPS, that you will be presented that the position is fixed when there is more than 5 satellites, and I think this is reasonable amount, the minimum. but I think in next version I will make it configurable, so you will be able to change how many satellites have to be acquired to show that the position is fixed, right? All right, guys, so of course nothing is working much because we are inside. So let me go outside with the quad, put it outside, and we wait just a little to check, to acquire satellites. All right, quad is outside, so it takes a while because this is all GPS, and I think like a minute to acquire some satellites. Maybe I will show you this arm stop feature, and okay, let's go to dashboard, or I will show you configuration. Memory usage is off, so this is set to TBS crossfire. Of course, different variables for battery. MSP is on, and VTX host is set to MSP. But in Crossfire, you can also set it to TBS RX. If you have this setup that VTX is connected to FC through UART and you use Crossfire protocol, you need to set here TBS RX CRSF. And in this case, you will be able to see all the data like channel selected, power selected, feed mode, and things like that. But you will not be able to set the new channel or power. And when you set it, here is just what is VTX host, and here is what kind of VTX you have, right? I've got over there 69, but as I said, it's connected via smart audio, so we can use FC, long press here gives a system menu about reset telemetry, reset flight, things like that. So be careful not to use it. Okay, so this is VTX host, but what I would like to show you is let's go back to config, and FC stat is every 2 seconds. Okay, it's quite fast. All right, so let's go to dashboard and let's raise throttle, error of course, throttle level, right? So you know that there will be first two errors displayed in this indicator. But of course, if you want more information, you go to arm stops, and this works the same. So if there is no error, you have all errors. By the way, I've changed the pitch of the sound, so it's almost the same like quad will give you. Let's go for throttle. Yeah, this is the sound, startup sound. When you power up your aircraft and something is wrong, your quad is telling you by sound what is wrong. But we have MSP, so if I raise the throttle, there will be only throttle right here. Let's, for example, arm while there is a throttle. So you will have two errors, like arm switch is in the wrong position and throttle is in the wrong position. And of course, you can, with the page, you can check error description and what to do to deal with this error. Okay, so let's go and lower throttle. So there will be only arm switch. Okay, so my arm switch is in the wrong position. So let's switch off arm switch. And basically here you have more detailed view what is going on, right? All these errors are listed over there. Okay, let's go back to dashboard and check if our GPS has acquired some satellites. Yes, it has. All right, 6 satellites. Of course, you will not see speed here because, you know, my quad is not moving. GC ground course also is 0 because it's not moving, and I wonder why altitude is 0. Because we are like 100 meters above sea level, and it should be the GPS altitude. Maybe this is a bug. I need to check. The easy way to check is to go to telemetry and check proper sensor. No, it's reporting altitude as 0 meters. So I don't know why. Well, basically that's it. So you've got those, you know, basic GPS indicators, and you can place them as you like, mixing with those arm status or flight mode status and things like that. All right, the last thing I think I would like to show you is that once we started to configure, let's go to tools, then SD card. So we have, of course, FM2M and FM2M Beta. And let's go toolbox, and there will be, this is my dev version, config, right? So once we start to configure, you will have configuration files here, okay? And here are just for the options for the radio. In model folder, there will be options for certain model. And the last but not least, VTX, you've got here those proxy files. So if something goes wrong, or you feel that, that there's something wrong, you can delete those files here, and then the VTX tables will be forced to be read again, right? And yep, that's it. Hope you have good beta testing. And if you have any questions, or you know, you don't know something, just message me on beta testing group. And happy flying. Thank you guys again, cheers. And I'm going back to fixing color, which should be ready in like 1 week maybe. So we have both of them. As you, I can see most of you have color TX16S, so there will be more beta testers. All right, bye-bye.